Should we leave the sign up sheet out there in case anybody else comes in and wants to sign up? And should we grab one or two more chairs, or a couple people that need chairs? Thank you, everybody.
Now this morning,
Yeah, I thought it was pretty normal.
I will put one.
Well, I know one for sure, but I don't know about what would be the other one. We'll find out.
Remove the
There's several.
We have all the pressure on it.
Oh, good. All right. That, when you're ready, okay? Being the hour of 5 p.m. today, Wednesday, April 15th, I call the Wednesday, April 15th, 2026 Public Safety and Licensing Committee to order. The first item would be introduction. We're going to start down at the end of the room, and we'll make our introduction so people know who's talking when we're talking.
St. Williams Deputy Clerk.
I'm in the clerk's office.
Sergeant Cruz with Citizen Police Department. Assistant City Attorney Ian Pomplin.
Samuel Pete, Alderman, District 10.
Nathan Pavon, Alderman, District 15.
Renee Kelly, District 13. Andy Wagner, and we have an alderman that's zooming in.
Arthur Fraser. Yep, Arthur Fraser, District 1.
The first item would be the approval of the minutes from the March 11th, 2026 meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve those. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor of the approval, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Minutes are approved. And we will leave it to the clerk's office to read the first item on the agenda.
Item 0088-26, communication, submitting a new application for a cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vape device retail license for Douglas Depot LLC, doing business as Douglas Tobacco, located at 1615 Douglas Avenue, Khalid Assad, Agent, 4th District.
Okay, do we have Khalid here? Welcome back. It's been a while. How are you?
Good, how are you?
First, would City Attorney, does he have to swear anybody in?
Yes, I will swear, ma'am. If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you. Then if you could state your full name? Khalid Assad.
So this item had been deferred from our last meeting from March 7th, and I think at the time you were going to confer with the neighbors and whatnot and make some kind of decision if you wanted to proceed or if you wanted to withdraw your application.
Yes, I do still want to proceed. I also did run into some issues, due to it being an old building. My plumber ran into an extensive amount of digging, so he was not able to finish in the time being, April 15th. I'm asking if you guys could defer me to the next meeting so I can finish that, plumbing inspection. It was almost done, and then he ran into some issues, so I had to do some extensive digging into the building since it's very old, so it's causing me to not have been done in time for this meeting.
So you want to have your building permit all in order before,
Yeah.
before you come here. So we have a request to defer this item.
I will make a motion to defer.
We have a motion to defer this item. Seeing that there's no second, that motion fails. So go ahead and proceed with your application as presented.
Okay.
Would you like to tell us again what you intend to do? Because the other possibility, because we're not going to defer the item,
Okay.
we'll act upon it if the committee decides to approve your license. We can approve with conditions
Okay.
that your building occupancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you want to tell the committee again what you wish to do?
Yeah, so I wanted to open up a specialty tobacco vape and shop there on Douglas. I wanted to bring a newer building, since the building's been closed for many, many years. It's been looked run down on that side of the street. I was hoping to light it up, make a new building, bring a new specialty tobacco in the area. Just, bring some life into that neighborhood. I've been there for a long time, so I see that street looks very dead all the time, and I figured why not open a new business and put some new lights up. I was gonna add security cameras, street lighting, everything there to make it a safer environment in that area also. Hopefully, I can get this business to, you know, turn the neighborhood around, make it a little bit better. And another, choice for people to stop and shop for specialty tobacco, vapes and stuff like that. So that's really all I wanted.
Thank you. Anything from the attorney's office regarding, there were some ordinance changes perhaps regarding, the,
Yes, so the city of Racine has enacted a new zoning ordinance, that was the zoning ordinance 0001-26 that changed a lot of the zoning for cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vaping vendors, and has significantly reduced where these vendors can be located within the city. The way this works, the application had been put in prior to the vendor before this change. However, the, I guess for lack of better words, grandfathering in of the zoning status occurs when a successful occupancy permit is issued. So as it stands right now, because there is no occupancy permit, and I have checked with the chief building inspector and to verify that there is no occupancy permit, that this building could not be used for cigarette, tobacco, and vaping within the confines of our new zoning ordinances.
anything from the committee members?
Make sure that we're clear, based on the new ordinance, is it grandfathered in or not? That's where I'm not clear.
He is not, because the occupancy permit was not successfully obtained.
Gotcha. Thank you.
The thing is, we couldn't, grant it with the zoning, and we moved to deny.
Second. We have a motion and a second to deny the application. Question on that motion. I would like to say that we're asked a question regarding the occupancy permit. So when you applied for occupancy permit, was it brought to your attention that all these things that need to be done, that kind of delayed you getting an occupancy permit, or?
Well, I had everything pretty much done until I ran into the small issue where when the inspectors came, there was, one thing, because a shower was installed in the, basement area, I needed a couple extra things to put onto the, add-on, so I had the plumber come there. He ran into a few issues. I came maybe 2 times before this already. So I know you guys mentioned the ordinance on zoning, but you guys didn't know what it was initially because they were still going through it. It just kind of sucks that it's a day behind, you know, that I'm almost done with the occupancy permit, so it's like, you know, they're telling me now I can't get the building because this zone changed, you know, and I did apply months and months prior to that zone changing, so it just kind of is upsetting that that's what's stopping me from getting the business there. Unfortunately, I would also like to ask where I could find those new laws in the zoning, what makes it not grandfathered in?
Yep, so the zoning ordinance itself would be found at the City of Racine Legistar website. It's also going to be in what's called Muni Code. It's the City of Racine ordinances. They're very long, and the ordinance, it has both a number that we give it for each year.
Is there an ordinance number that I could follow, please?
Yep, so the ordinance number is ZORD, Z-O-R-D, and 0001-26. So that's going to be kind of the name of the ordinance that just passed. For the ordinance itself, the part of the code that it changed, it is going to be and this is going to be kind of a mouthful because the way our zoning ordinance work, there's a lot of chapters and subsections, but it's amending Chapter 114, Article 1, Section 114-1, amending Chapter 114, Article 5, Section 114-447, and creating Chapter 114, Article 5, Section 114-487, Sub B, Sub 30.
Okay, and that will exactly state whether a person's grandfathered in, why or not.
Yep, so what that'll do is that changes the zoning of the location. The grandfather-in status, that is going to be in court cases where people have litigated this over the last 100 years or so, zoning changes, occasionally, and occasionally business owners are stuck in between when they have applied, and a similar scenario to here. So there's a body of case law on that.
I also have one more question. You know, due to the first time I came here when you guys didn't know the zoning laws, it would have been really, you know, I'm not coming at you guys, but it'd be really nice to be informed that, you know, this law will change if your occupancy is not done by this date. You know, that will stop you from getting the building or opening the building. You know, I wasn't informed of anything. There was lack of information in the zoning prior to the first 2 times I came here. That's why they were deferred. It wasn't because I chose to. The zoning ordinances weren't even in place yet. So I find it very unjust and unfair that I'm being kicked out of opening this business for a new law that was placed after I've already applied for this business.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just like to point out, I don't want to belabor issues or go back months, but the fundamental issues and concerns that existed several months ago still exist today. So those would have still been issues that the committee would have had to consider before we made a final vote, irregardless of the change in zoning. So the zoning in itself is not the total issue here.
Well, I
I want to
understand.
make you, I just want to point that
Well,
out.
I understand that. It's just the lack of knowledge of the zoning prior to the month that I was coming here. And then all of a sudden this new zone thing is banned. Now everybody knows that the zones changed, the ordinance changed, now you can't open because of this. I mean, where was that the first 2 times
Well,
I came?
Okay, I won't take issue, but that has 2 sides to it. Had the occupancy permit been issued, then we wouldn't have to have this particular conversation.
But is that a new law? Is that
They're separate issues.
I mean, it's hand in hand though. It's a new law implemented to stop me from opening the business. It's a new thing that was added after the fact that I opened the business, that I wanted to do the business. It's a new form of zone ordinance. It wasn't there before, prior to this, was it? So how does that,
So what the attorney had said is that it is up to the committee's discretion. And I think what Alder Pete is trying to tell you is that there were other issues rather than the zoning that generated the motion to deny. I understand completely what you're saying about the effort that you put in to get the occupancy permit and where
I mean,
you're
there's
at.
tons of money going through it. I mean, months ago prior to that, it would have been very nice to know that they're already trying to deny me. Because from day one, that was the first thing I heard was Alderman was, I mean, you guys were not you were opposed to smoke shops opening, but the problem is the zone ordinance, nobody had a clue what was happening. So now it's just magically a new ordinance against me.
Well, we still have the committee still has the discretion, so it's not just the zoning ordinance, why a motion was made and seconded. We don't know yet how the committee is gonna vote. And when the committee does vote, that is just a recommendation that will go to the full council next Monday night, not Tuesday, next Monday night. And if you're not happy with or unsatisfied with whatever recommendations finally made by this committee, you are welcome to come speak at the full council meeting next Monday at 6 o'clock here in City Hall on the 2nd floor. We will see how the motion of second came from 2 members of the 5 that are on the committee.
And you did mention all ordinance and everything is in writing, right? Okay, thanks.
If you would like to provide your email to the city attorney's office, he
Yeah.
can forward you the ordinance that
Yeah.
today.
What's your email?
KAASSAD@outlook.com.
So I have KASSAD.
2 A's, KAA.
KAA?
Yep, SSAD@outlook.com.
Got it.
Thank you, Attorney Kaufman, appreciate that. So then you'll understand
Yep.
what he was explaining. Are there any other comments from the committee members? And do we have anyone here that wishes to speak on this? Good memory, huh? All right, we have a motion and a second to deny the application for the vape license at 1016. What's your address?
16.
Here, 1615. Any further discussion on that motion? All those in favor of denial, say aye.
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 Any opposed? So the motion passed. The motion to deny the
Yeah.
license passed.
Understood.
So, sure, I guess you call it the second kick at the cat would be to convince the full council to go in a different direction than the recommendation from the.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item, please.
Item 0001-26, communication, submitting a new application for a massage establishment license, Serenity and Peace LLC, doing business as Lotus Spa, located at 1118 Grove Avenue. Anthony Buchanan Senior, owner, 13th District.
Okay, do we have Mr. Buchanan here? Mr. Buchanan? Third call for Mr. Buchanan? If the committee doesn't object, we will, move this item to the back end of the agenda, and the city clerk's office will be so kind as to remind you that we did that. Thank you. And then when you're ready, we'll take the next item up.
Item 0155-26, communication, submitting a new application for a Class B beer and Class C wine license for Meet and Greets Worldwide LLC, doing business as Meet and Greets, located at 614 6th Street, Latricia Crockram, agent, 1st District.
Okay, Patrick here. Good afternoon, and I believe the city attorney's office will swear you in.
You could raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand down and state your full name.
Patricia Crockett. So, if you'd like to tell us about your business plan?
So the name of my business is Meet and Greets, right? So basically, I'm trying to bring something new to racing. Basically, when you first come in, you're supposed to get a name tag, right? And every day is a different day. I ask you a question like, today might be, what's your favorite color? Or tomorrow might be, what's your favorite food, right? And basically, everybody who comes in will have a name tag, and you can walk up to them and be like, hi, Kelly, my name's T, my favorite color pink, I see your favorite color blue, nice to meet you, you know what I mean? I also have a lot of jumbo games where you can interact and play with each other, or, you know, basically like conversate and get to know people. Okay? I'm trying to bring the community together because it's like so hard to meet people. It seems like now everybody meeting everybody on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring something where people can actually come in and make a new friend, and you ain't got to go through the internet no more. Like, you know, bring it back to the old days, like how it used to be back then. You know what I mean? Basically, that's the concept of my business. I'm just trying to bring the community together to meet people and feel comfortable doing it. You know what I mean? Without, like, I feel like I can't just go anywhere and just without somebody criticizing me, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring in a welcoming place where everybody feels comfortable, no matter what. You know what I mean? So
you initially applied for a hookah bar, correct?
a hookah lounge.
And that's no longer part of your plan?
No, it's still a part of my
Still
plan.
part of your plan?
Yes. So, like, that's just something that you can do while you're there. You know what I mean?
So you also want to have beer and wine?
Yeah.
Applying for that as well, or that's really what the content of this,
Yeah, so basically a social, you know, so while you're there, you can either do hookah, beer and wine. I don't want the hard liquor because I don't want people to think that it's a bar or a lounge. I would call it more like a social center, you know what I mean, where people are interacting. You know what I mean? And it's just something that you can do to interact with people on a one-on-one basis. You know what I mean? I don't want the hard liquor there because that's not the type of vibe. Like, the music there, right? I play music on the TVs and a $50 speaker. So the music is not even loud enough for you to even, if I can't hear you talk to me, the music is too loud. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the type of vibe or the atmosphere I'm trying to create for people. It's just a place where you could come, meet and greet, so on.
Well, I saw on your application that you had several different methods for music and entertainment. Have you applied for a dance hall license?
Yes,
And another question that I had, do you have a business partner?
yes.
And what is your name, sir?
Robert Askew.
I'm sorry?
Robert Askew.
Robert Askew, thank you.
My name is Destiny Davidson.
I'm sorry?
My name is Destiny Davidson. I'm also a business.
Are there any questions, but you will be the agent? So you're applying for the license, you would be the
Yes.
agent? You would be the one that would be responsible for anything in regards to the
Yes.
Do we have anything from the attorney's office on this?
So I will let, Sergeant Cruz speak more at length, but there was, during a background check, we've, determined that Ms. Crockram has a different name that I don't know if she has used before, but there is a, criminal record that would prohibit her from, being an agent for a business of this type. Also, it was not disclosed fully on the application, so a misrepresentation on a license also would prohibit the issuance of this license. And then Sergeant Cruz has much more information on that.
So reference to the background check, the, mentioned it was under Latricia Crockram, and then we ended up finding out it was also Latricia Hinton. After doing the background on Latricia Hinton, we figured out there was the same person as Latricia Crockram. We did a little bit of digging in reference to the background of Latricia Hinton, and then there was multiple, convictions, felony and misdemeanor, starting from 2008 all the way up to 2019. 3, 4, 6, 8, a total of 9 of what I found during my background check. So she failed it based on the guidelines for that, felony conviction, and then also the 2 or more offenses within the past 10 years. That's in reference to her background, and then throughout the last couple of days, couple of weeks, there's been multiple calls for service that have been documented. I gave you guys the copy of the report. I know they can be open, I know they can have people there as far as the occupancy stuff. Some of the stuff that was being noted was the, food containers, and also, some kind of beverage that was in like in a pink cup that was documented in one of the reports. We did have a parking violation in regards to their, food truck. They were also cited in reference to that. The complaint number is listed. You guys should have that. There was also an arrest that was made after a call for service, not necessarily related to Ms. Crockram. It was in that place as far as why we made contact. They were all kind of together, and there was a drug arrest that was made. I did not provide that information because that's still open, that's still ongoing. So that's what I have for meet and greets and.
Is there already an occupancy permit for that building?
An occupancy permit has been issued by the city building department.
If there is an occupancy permit, does that mean that events can take place without, as long as alcohol is not being served?
There's a couple more licenses at issue for this item, but yeah, largely yes. For all of the licenses that are not at issue, which my understanding is it's alcohol, dance hall, and jukebox that are being applied for. Events that don't use those 3 things, or the health license, because there is no food license applied for nor granted, could occur. It would just have to be, you know, like a convenience store or like a bookstore, things like that. They can't sell food that isn't prepackaged snacks, and they can't sell alcohol, and they can't sell any drinks that are not in individually marked containers. So not 2-liter bottles, not jugs of liquid that are being individually dispersed, anything like that. I will note with the jug of pink liquid, there was a health code violation that was issued this morning about that from our health department, ordering the applicant, or ordering the premise to cease all food operations immediately and levying a fine based on that pink liquid being distributed to patrons when police make contact.
And I understand that there's a police report from 4/11 on Saturday night. One of the things in that police report that determined me, it was when I asked the female about intoxicating beverage, she denied it and became very uncooperative. The female then entered the business, closed the door behind her, preventing officers from entering. So I had some concerns about being cooperative with the police department. But with that said, I'm gonna, ask the Alder Frazier if he has anything to weigh in, as he is the alderman of the first district. I don't know if you had an opportunity to meet with him or talk with him. Alder, Frazier, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes, but before I do we have any public comments?
We do have a number of public comments.
Okay, we can take public comments prior to your remarks, if you like.
Yes, please.
Okay, do you want to call off any of those that are here to speak on this item?
Alex Adams, for meet and greets. I'm so sorry, no one knows actual addresses here. I assume Racine, Wisconsin.
Alex Adams, you want?
And if you could step forward and say your address.
See, we'll call Alex Adams.
Hi guys, one day.
Good, how are you?
I've been going through a lot. My son is Trent Harper. He was killed recently here up in Racine. They're going outside, and meet and greets came through. Told me y'all with my son. Told me do his repass there. For some things y'all may have seen going through things with people coming out. That people know not to bring liquor and stuff like that. So people try to come to the door. They hear something, go back out. Probably it's not allowed up in here. We did another one for Sharice Tyler. Never asked for anything, no money. Come to the community, helping out. Never asked for any money, anything. I'm not doing anything. If I ask for any money, anything, I'm going through a lot. I cannot wake up. I can't sleep. I don't know if anybody knows what it feels like to have a son come and then come around with Sharice Tyler. She went, just did a little brief assessment. The lights went out. She was in a big machine. We woke up. She blew, went in the hospital. Died of an avalanche going back. She didn't ask for any money, didn't ask for any help, didn't ask for anything. It came through the community on 411.
So are you talking about the applicant?
Yes. Meet and greet. Came through again. And she's doing it back to back, doing stuff for the kids. People get their proper gun license. 411 was another person. Back to back, they're coming quick. I don't know what's going on out here, or west and west, but it's not right. Not right. Another one, 411. Did this, repass, stop, came through and helped out again with the community. Never asked for anything. Everything that she's been doing has been free. Free. She's not asking for anything. I need to help. She's really helping the community. I understand what you guys, I'm here to speak up on her behalf and show that she's starting somewhere. Somebody has to start somewhere in this community. Kids are going down, the people going down with them. I like what she's doing, bringing everybody in. White, black, Mexican, any color, any race, age, and she's doing private events for people. Some of these are plain private events, not coming through, not up on the agenda, so they're private events that she's doing for people who can't afford what's going on. Some people are not ready. Renewals happening fast and stuff like that. She's stepping up in her community, fighting her best to do what she can. And she's learning. First business coming around, doing things, got to learn, go through obstacles. And that's why I'm here today, speak up on her behalf so she can get better and do what she's doing to give y'all a start on what's going on. Barely making some days I can't even get up. I'm sleeping, I'm going through stuff. I got a lot of stuff going on. I can't even get up some days. I get up. Getting up, I'm trying, and I got to take it day by day and meet and greet to help with the community the best way she can. Starting by look, got to start somewhere. Everybody can't start up at the top. Like a lot of businesses who comes to the support, you got to build up support. Out there, put in and build up support. And that's what I wanted to say. You guys do have somebody who's very good for y'all community, trying to start somewhere. And from the bottom, trying to come up and do something positive.
Thank you for your comments. Again, we're so sorry for you.
Mr. Adams, could you state your address, please?
1210 Albert Street.
1210 Albert Street? Thank you.
I'm trying to help out. I'm trying to help. Because I need to do, try to step in. I'm not y'all make a mistake when y'all fall down. Got to get back up and keep doing it. That's why we have assistance
Is there anyone else that wants to speak on that?
Yes, I have a Maravis Ford. You can step up and state your address.
Keith Ford,
Oh, I'm sorry, Maravis.
address 2407 Launch Street.
Thank you.
Hi, hello.
No.
How y'all doing today? My name is Marquise Ford. I also go by DJ16. I am the National Vice President of the Hip Hop Fraternity, a worldwide organization. We work with people like Ice-T, we have politicians in New York. And what I did is I partnered with this young lady to help with the community on getting their background taken care of. So it's a lot of felons that have been felons for 30-plus years and things of that nature, right? And they can get a pardon, but don't know how to get a pardon. And for me to throw in an event, my first event was with her, and she did it for free for the community to be able to learn how to register to get a pardon. And to me, that's something that's huge, again, is that she's doing it for free to help the community. And then when I, on the outside, looking at the situation, me being there and seeing how these allegations are being put on this woman, and there's no real hardcore evidence of wrongdoing, it kind of hurts me in the wrong way, especially when her being a young black woman, opening up a business that's connected to a lot of other,
Can
racial.
you be more specific about what allegations?
Well, the allegations of her selling food out of her establishment, selling juices in cups out of her establishment, all these things that is not showing any hardcore evidence, but more of an allegation of communication, talking reports, like a police report, that's not considered completely true, which is why you go through trial to have the evidence to come and back it up. So, we're only on the allegation part. I'm looking into the humanitarian part of giving her a chance to understand how you work and how we can work together to build. That's what her whole mission is to build. That's why it's called meet and greets. It's not called any type of other thing, but to meet and greet and get to know us. And I do music. I'm a DJ, so I know how loud music can be. And I know about amplifiers, I know about low frequencies, and her playing her music on the TV and things of that nature is not going to be louder than the music that's coming from Pepe's or the music that's coming from any other place that's using speakers. So how you can get a noise complaint when you're not even loud? So it's almost like she's being attacked more than actually given a chance to know what's going on, getting to know her and making it happen. So it's more like a simultaneous attack that's coming in, and then somebody getting arrested or something happened outside of an establishment that's not completely directed to her, but you have a police report that's coming to her establishment. That confuses me, because Pepe's is right there. But it wasn't on the police report. She went to use her. So that's why I'm a little agitated, and I want to see a fair chance, a fair shot. That's really why I'm looking at it, a fair shot, pretty much.
Thank you for your comments.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Anyone else that wishes to speak?
Robert Askew? Yep. State your address as well, please.
4812 Ridgeway Avenue.
Thank you.
How y'all doing? All right, so the first thing I want to speak about is we're not here to try to work against the city, against locals. We're not here to be competition to Pepe's or any other bar. We're not here to fight with the Racine Police Department. We're fully committed to working with everybody to make this a smooth transition. But we are just like every other business out here, where that we don't have control much over other human beings once they leave our staff. All we can do is be transparent, work with local law enforcement. We got a city full of knuckleheads, and a lot of them are young. Some of them in my family. They're not even allowed over there, right? But we don't want to be held to higher requirements or higher standards than every other establishment that opens up because we're new. Because what we're going to get is we're going to get a lot of people that come over try to push the envelope on us because we're new. security measures in place, as far as cameras, transparent. And then it comes down to a point where if someone is suspected of doing something in there, it should be addressed with us. Someone is outside and something is going on, and it's believed to be because of us, it should be directly addressed with us so that we can confirm what not confirm, whatever is going on. But we don't have a lot of control over what people do out of our establishment. We do have control over being transparent. We do have control over local law enforcement. Make sure things don't happen. It's a new business. You have to get up and running and see how it goes and see what problems we have, like every other business, in order to work out ways to deal with those situations. We shouldn't be looked upon as going to be a problem, something in the neighborhood, or without even having the opportunity to do that. A lot of times, this entire weekend, there were pictures together with narrative about this location on social media. A lot of the pictures were not consistent with the narrative that was being presented because the pictures were from different days, different occasions. There are pictures of a lot of police activity. It just wasn't consistent with the narrative that we presented for this location. And we are not above, we have to go through everything that every other business has to go through. We got to go through everything that Doobies have to go through. We have to go through everything that Pepe's might have to go through, what Pepe's had to go through when it was first open. We're not above that. Yeah, we have to have a chance to work with that. We have to have a chance to work with officers. We're not here to fight with them. We're not here to fight with the city. And when it comes to any licensing, we depend on the city and our information from the city. Once we pay licensing and permits and we go through inspections and stuff, we're under the impression that we'll be helped. That anything that we don't understand along the way, that the city will help us out with that, not condemn us for things that we don't know, or not condemn us for things that we're not aware of, or things that are changing. We just want a fair opportunity like everybody else.
No?
Destiny Davidson? State your address as well, please.
Hi, my name is Bethany Davidson. My address is 1316 16th Street. Hi, how's everyone today?
Fine, how are you?
So I have a written response, and then I also have this response from my heart that I wanted to speak upon, but I will start off with the written response first. So thank you all for giving us the opportunity to speak today on behalf of Meet the Greeks. We appreciate this day. We understand that concerns have been raised about our business, specifically accusations of illegal sales such as alcohol or tobacco and serving of hot food out of our establishment. We want to clarify and completely help you guys understand that it is untrue. Since our grand opening on March 28th, we've had multiple police visits and countless stressful interactions with locals. And while this has been distressing, we want to be fully transparent with you guys today. We have never sold any alcohol. We have never sold any tobacco. There has not been any pink drink inside of the tub that they are claiming they noticed within this dash cam that they have. There is a, I'm not exactly sure the name of it, but it's a jug that you can usually typically put underneath and get water. We use that water for the hookah that we have in there. Now, I can't say the sales of hookah has not been quite large, but it is available to the people that are there, as well as the music. So, there has never been any sales, illegal sales of tobacco, illegal sales of alcohol, and that is the main concern that I want to address today, because the accusations and allegations and lies, they all tie together. What you guys are hearing and being told is not true. And my partner Rob also explained that what happens outside of our establishment or any establishment in Racine that has a social environment they really genuinely do not fully have control. So we poured countless hours, financial resources, and passion and love into creating a safe, vibrant space for the community. We also want to address concerns about noise and the nature of our event. We recognize these worries, and while we haven't had the chance to invite any of you inside, as we assure you that every event is meant to bring people together, foster creativity, and support local talent, regardless of what image has been portrayed on us. Our food truck and our party bus has raised many local concerns as well. Now, me personally, I am her partner, I'm her business partner, but I don't fully have my hands in said food truck and party bus, but I do understand what we are offering with the connection of those two. Our food truck and our party bus has raised many concerns, but our truck and our bus are integral parts of the vision. They're all tied together, and we run them as one cohesive unit. We are a small team, and we're actively working on managing staff so we can keep everything as organized as to the best of our abilities. Like my partner Rob said, every business starts from somewhere, and we are literally trying our hardest to make sure that the concerns that you guys have are the same concerns that we have. We're in hand here. We have the same concerns, and we're showing you guys that we do as much as we try. We are, like he said, this narrative is getting painted on us, and it's unfair. It doesn't even give us a chance to show what we can give to the community, because the first 3 weeks of us being open, we've had 10 to 11 police visits and phone calls of allegations that are not true. That is my concern. We take responsibility for cleaning up for ourselves after every event. After every single thing that we've ever done, we take full responsibility in cleaning up. We respect the rules as much as we can, and we try our hardest. And we do not operate our truck or any of our businesses after the hours of what we were told we can, which is 1 a.m. and 2:30 a.m. Now, the citation for the truck to me, honestly, I was unaware of some things. I can't say that some things because I'm not always there. I, too, have been dealing with a family death of my own, and I have not been able to constantly be hands-in within the business, but I'm always watching, and I'm always all ears to the business. And the concerns that I get brought to, before I could even step into my own establishment, I was told that there were many police visits before I could even come back to work, you know? And so I just so happened to be there at one of these events, and I was addressed by, if I'm not mistaken, Officer Drake, and I don't know the rest of their names, but I know we had at least 5 or 6 officers, or I would say 4 or 5, walk in behind her. And when we were addressed, she said what she said. She stated that we've had about 4 or 5 calls of accusations of things that they cannot prove has happened. When she walked in with the crew, the police unit walking in, I asked her many questions as of, okay, you're standing here currently at our door, and what do you see? I had stood there because at first, when they walk in, it raises tension. The officers of Racine raise tension wherever they go. And me personally, the demeanor that we come across when they're coming into our establishment, it paints a picture that that is just not us. So the conversation that I had with Officer Drake was more so along the lines of, can you hear me currently while I'm talking to you? Yes, I can hear you. Okay, can you tell me what you see with your eyes? I had her stand, and I asked her, can she look and tell me what she sees with her eyes? This should be all on dash cam, which the social media that has been brought up, we've had dash cam footage being shown from different days and different timings. Things are not lining up, and their accusations aren't making sense. So Officer Drake was asked, what can she see? And I asked her, I counted out loud for her the people that were there. They walked in after this repast was done, this event that was thrown, once again, for free for the community. And I counted, I said, hey, we have about 4 or 5 staff members in here right now. What do you see us doing? We're picking up, we're cleaning up, we're making sure everything is set in stone. And every time we open our doors, we are concerned, we're hit with the never-ending nervousness feeling of who's gonna call on us today and create a lie on us today to stop whatever event we're trying today. Like I stated in our meeting March 11th, this is a place that is meant for people to feel safe, and that is all we are trying to do. Now, for us to be called a disturbance within this community when we are not disturbing anyone, I can assure the concerns from the meeting on March 11th were stated that, ongoing hours, past 2:30 a.m. and so forth until 4 a.m. They've had to come outside and stop this and do this, and we have not had, we, like he said, we have footage. We will fight to show and prove that every allegation is wrong, and false. Our cameras have shown there have not been any fights. There have not been any type of negative environmental issues that are underlining and that important within our business that has affected the community. Like, there have been no deaths. There is no one walking in with guns. The liquor is getting stopped at the door if it is there, if it is present. We are literally doing everything, in my opinion, that we are asked, and somehow, some way, we are still getting dominated with image that we can't, it's just very hard to come from starting off in the beginning. Our goal is never to create a nightly disturbance. Exactly why we're so dominant on closing at a decent time and only opening our establishment for the weekend, a time that is meant to unwind and a time that is meant for you to express. We simply want to bring fun and connection to 6th Street. We ask that you see the effort that we're making and not let small issues be blown up. This pink drink statement, this serving of food statement, it is all, and all can be proven debunked. It can all be today. Like, we have so much footage that we can show you guys what we sell and what we do not. We stated we can only sell packaged drinks. We have only chips, candy, and sodas in our establishment, and taffy drinks are put in a package. That is all we sell outside of the hookah. We don't sell anything. And when we do these events, quote-unquote events, because in reality, these events aren't even big, huge events. This is just us helping our community. They come with us. They come to us with an event. Hey, we have a repass. We don't know. We're running short on time. We don't know who we can, work with. And we give them that space so that they can feel free and feel safe to be themselves. Also tying hand in hand that we are, at the end of the day, the image for the business is to create a fun environment for everyone to be safe and come and meet whoever they like, under the understanding that they will be safe in our establishment. We are committed to doing what's right, and we hope you will give us a chance to show you our positive impact after today. Thank you.
For your comments.
Here's one last speaker, Garden Tausch. If you could state your address, please.
Hi, my address is 6, 614 6th Street. I'm here today to speak on behalf of Meet and Greet, and I just want to say, sorry, this is Lillian Helk as well. I would just like to state for the record that these are individuals who have become my friends, all of the business owners and business partners. I met them one night on a whim, and I ended up walking in there after several things had gone down, and I had seen people in distress, the business owners themselves, because there were things going on that necessarily shouldn't have been, that didn't have anything to do with them. But I would more like to speak on how I felt when I walked through the establishment and how I felt knowing these people. I'm an artist myself. I'm a painter. I draw. I work with all kinds of mediums. And me personally, as soon as I walked in the venue, my eyes lit up. They were huge, and I was super excited because, oh my God, here's a space where they're just trying to get people together to meet each other, to have fun, to be safe, where there's no, I'll be honest, I've been all over Racine, and there's some parts of it that aren't the safest and not the greatest. But this isn't one of those places. This is one of those places that felt safe. I felt like I could set my purse down on the table and not have to worry about it. I felt like I could walk in there and meet people, and everything was going to be totally okay. And I'm Gen Z, I'm only 22, I'm a little bit younger, and a lot of the way that we socialize nowadays is on the internet and online. And that's not always safe, because people can lie, people can catfish, they can be who they can be not who they say they are. But this concept, this idea, this business that they have, the idea of creating a community space where people can just come to meet each other and it's a safe environment, I think that's a wonderful, beautiful, and amazing thing. And even if there were some hangups that have been previously mentioned by everybody, I still don't see, in my personal opinion, why that should hold them up from flourishing and prospering as a business, because they are trying to do nothing but bring love and care and a sense of community to Racine, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And my last additional note is that this is a place where artists can come together. And I'm an artist, and I'll stand on that until my very last day. And to have a place to go where I am accepted and cared about and seen as a person, and I can share my voice and I can share my work, is a beautiful thing. And I hope that other artists have the opportunity to do that, and other musicians have the opportunity to do that with music. And I just sincerely and genuinely hope that the committee takes everything into account and fully thinks about the gravity of the situation and gives them a genuine shot to try to make something flourish for the community. Because genuinely, they're doing everything they can possibly do to make sure that we're all safe in that establishment. And I think that that is the number one thing, is that the safety of everybody is a factor, and it's thought about.
Very quickly, right?
Okay, yeah, this pink drink is whatever you use for the hoop and the shisha, this is what they're talking about. I don't know about this. It's a bottle of water. It's a bottle. This is what they speak about. But that's what I want to say is, one thing about being a community or trying to be a community business, within the community is communication goes both ways, right? So, like I'm communicating to you guys, and someone that's outside of our business doing something that they don't have any business doing, we absolutely want their ass locked up. Want them to care of. You know what I'm saying? But the communication part that goes back and forth is being a type of community where neighboring businesses and the police officers are not coming in trying to raise the space, but coming in, we're open for somebody to come in and say, hey, you guys need to tighten up. Or hey, when a neighboring business, Pepe's or whatever businesses that are next door or neighbors in the community come in and say, hey, well, this was a problem, or, we need this cleaned up, or this was left dirty, or we got guys, people coming over here. We want that check. We if it's a community-based business, if this is based on community interaction and communication with each other, then we need to be communicating with each other like a close-knit community, not like mob action. Not like we're being raided or like we're being punished in order to run a community-based business. We need equal communication on both sides. And the way we communicate with each other is going to dictate how all the businesses work and run and flourish or fail in the community.
Thank you for the comment. Anyone else? Is there anyone else that would like to speak to this item? Anything from the committee?
Can we hear from Alder Fraser?
Well, he's part of the committee.
I know. Before I make comments, I'd like to hear from him.
Alder Fraser?
Earlier that he may need to step away. He's working on his connection, he says.
Thank you.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Oh, there you are. Yes, we can. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's very bad here. Okay. There's so much to say, and I do have some questions. Sergeant Ortiz, do we have a count for how many contacts RPD has had with meet and greets since they've been open?
We do have a couple here on my list. So on the 3rd, there was a total of, I believe it was 4 calls for service that were documented in the report that was submitted. And then after that, there was another 3, including the parking violation and also the arrest that was made, started from the 12th.
Let's see.
We have 2 for loud music, there was an alarm at the establishment, 1, 2, those 3 are not theirs, there was a fight call, an open and talk, another loud music complaint. A liquor violation, we had the ordinance violation, a parking violation, a civil trouble, parking violation, and then the last one, yeah.
Okay. And that I know we got the license premise report. I did read that. I just wanted to see. Okay. I do have questions for the applicant. And I know her and I have been playing phone tag, but I just want her to be able to answer some of my questions. Or anybody from her team as well.
Ready for your questions, Alder Fraser.
Okay. So I guess, the reason why we're here is because Meet and Greets is requesting an application for a Class B beer and Class C wine license. And the question that I ask every applicant that comes before our committee is how does your or the business's acquisition of the license, so if we grant you the beer and wine license, how does that benefit the community?
So it benefits the community because in the end, for the ideas that Meet and Greets has to bring to the community, we do also want to offer some form, if not, because we are starting with the hookah and then we're starting with the small packaged foods that we give, but in the end, my partner has all of the employees have many ideas for the future of Meet and Greets, and the future of Meet and Greets, to me personally, I believe it deserves, some sort of relaxation. Now, when it comes down to the beer and wine, we need that license to do the events that we're trying to do, because in the end, we want to do, sip and paint and, what did you say, 20-something verse? It's like a dating thing where we do, speed dating, fun things, and we want people to come in and, feel somewhat relaxed. But we don't want people to come in, completely drunk or be in our establishment getting drunk, overly drunk, and then leaving our establishment and causing harm to the community. So, the Class B and Class C will only help for, the certain events that we have planned for the community. I feel like it'll add a extra, addition to what we have to offer already. It's not necessarily a necessity, but it is something that we think it could work for us.
Capitalize on that,
Sir, you are not part of the application process. Questions are for the applicant.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Alder Fraser, I think there was another, part of the team that wanted to respond to your question.
I just wanted to say that all of this started because I'm 46. I don't have anywhere to go to have fun, or that's not basically hard. Alcohol, and everywhere else is just out being bars. So how it adds to the community is that something that's basically not down here. A lot of things are not down here. That's just not to be a regular bar. It also shows inclusion for the community, as far as being a different type of people. Like I said, this structure is not structured to be a bar or have that type of lounge or that type of environment whatsoever. There's a lot of good things, not to mention the tax.
Alder Fraser, are you able to hear the responses?
Yes.
Do you have any other questions?
Yes. So, one of the concerns, I think so. We're dealing with a few different issues here. We're dealing with the application that was submitted. We're dealing with the perception of this business, and then we're dealing with the application that's at hand that we have to vote for. The main portion of this item. Um, as I would like to know. As far as collaboration and cooperation with other businesses, because I've gotten a lot of phone calls and emails, and I'm sure other people on the committee have too, about meet and greets not really being a partner, and namely like the food truck. Um, what is the plan for the food truck and parking? Because I was told by one of the business owners that the food truck sat dormant for like 4 hours, and it made it difficult for other businesses to have parking for their customers. Are there conversations that you all are having with these business owners so that that collaboration and sense of teamwork is there, or what is that like?
Well, the business is that, like it's an arts and crafts store next, they came over and they called the police on me a couple of times this week, so we don't have no type of communication to each other.
Since day one.
Yeah, so they don't want me there, so I don't have no communication with them.
And that's the part that I'm speaking about as far as the community base, how we communicate with each other.
So the question was, what are your plans for the food truck?
Oh, only on the weekends, on Fridays and Saturdays.
And what about
Yeah. Yeah. He was only there for this past Saturday, and
That was the first time we partnered right there. Yeah. So it's a learning thing for us because in the end, we are trying to find a ground to where we can collaborate and work with other businesses, so we're not interrupting what they have going on.
Yeah.
It's a trial and error. We are learning what we can and cannot do and what is, not fitting for the community. We personally didn't think in the beginning that it would be necessarily an issue given off of our menu, being parked in front of our establishment. We thought that maybe that would suit everyone best because we are in front of our establishment and directly in front of our establishment, and we take up all of, 2 parking spaces for the truck and the bus. If we put the bus there, which we, it's, like I said, trial and error. But in the end, parking downtown in general is a very difficult thing to do within Sixth Street overall. If you live there, if you have businesses, if you're casually just trying to walk downtown and see what they have to offer, it's very difficult to find parking on Sixth Street. And for us, it's not necessarily like we're trying to stop their businesses from being able to park right there. It's just we are trying to find an in-ground of where we can be so that all of our businesses are combined together, because we don't want people to go across the country to get certain things from us. Like, we're here on this street, then you have to go all the way around the corner and cause other commotion in a different place. We want everything to be tied together. So, and if they're willing to work with us and collaborate with us, we can come down to a beautiful understanding, because at the end, since we've opened this business, we've been understanding, and we've been trying to be as understanding as possible. The frustration with my partner and the cooperation with the police force is just it's just given off of the many visits that we've had. So if we've given them the feeling that they couldn't come to us, I promise you it is because they've given us the feeling first. So
okay?
We're not going to stop them, but we want to connect with them.
Oh, okay. So we all can talk offline about that. I think so. Here's what I'll say. Unfortunately, because you all are seeking a license from us, we have to hold you all accountable. And this is kind of on a separate note for the things that people do in and around your business. Other bars have to come to our committee, and we hold them accountable, whether they think it's fair or not. I know someone said that we can't control what other people do. That is true. However, like you guys are still held responsible for that, and there has to be protocols and procedures in place from you all that can, counteract that negative behavior to address the perceptions that they have. I think, again, I want to stick to the issue of why you all are here today. Is this license. Now, I do have, and I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I'm taking a while, question for Attorney Pomplin. So you had referenced her application. So where do we go from here? Because I think you said, and I was cutting in and out. You said that because of the record that she couldn't be on the application. So where does that put us as far as, voting and their application in total?
So the applicant has a disqualifying criminal record. That record was failed to be disclosed on the application packet. The city of Racine has adopted some guidelines about how to handle that. Every applicant that handles alcohol, whether that be for a bar as an agent or as a bartender with an operator's license, has to go through a background check. Because of a difference in last name, this came up during a further investigation into the agent when we discovered that there was a different last name that was associated with her that does have this conviction history. Looking on the conviction history, there's the background cover sheet kind of summarizes the police department's findings on these things. She is disqualified per Guideline 7 for providing a materially false statement regarding a misdemeanor or felony conviction in the last 10 years. That means that she did not disclose her criminal record on the application. She disclosed one charge. She has many more than that. I believe it is 9 charges, or 9 convictions, I should say. Notwithstanding that, even if these were disclosed, because the crimes, one or more offenses in the past 5 years, involved crimes of violence or threats of violence, lack of cooperation with law enforcement, or distribution of drugs, which would be the battery by prisoner in 2016. It goes back, or my apologies, the obstructing an officer is the obstructing, and then there is the battery by prisoner. Let's see here. And the felony conviction would substantially relate, is also the obstructing an officer. So because of this non-disclosure, the applicant, if we can explain why the criminal record was not disclosed, that is the what the committee has adopted to kind of handle these situations. Specifically, if someone is disqualified due to a materially false statement, the committee has to find good cause to grant an exception, effectively saying that she had good cause to not disclose this record. The committee has also found that a statement by the applicant that he or she misunderstood the question or was unable to recall a conviction does not constitute good cause for purposes of this section. So the question to be asked would be, why was this not disclosed? And then determining whether, based on that answer, good cause exists to grant the license, notwithstanding the failure to disclose.
So Alder Frazier, did you want to answer that question?
Yes. Does the applicant have a response to that?
Yes, when I filled out the application when I turned it in downstairs, she asked me, have you ever been convicted of felony? And I'm like, yeah. And she said, you have to disclose it. So I disclosed the felony that I've been convicted of. That's the only felony that I've been convicted of.
Okay. I'm done, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Alder? Alder Kelly.
Rob, was it? Okay. Is the the meet and greets kind of been under your purview for a while, or is this brand new?
It's been for a while, it's kind of brand new, but it's been, I mean, I've been associated with these recently, sorry.
Okay. I don't, maybe the first time when you guys came, I guess I got the impression that maybe this is new to Racine. It was, brought to our attention that you were operating out of the, Douglas Avenue location,
Yes, ma'am.
which was the old,
GRC.
20 Grand Bucks
Yes, ma'am.
for Courtney Marshall.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask the city attorney about that. Can you have comments on that, please?
Excuse me. So with liquor licenses, businesses cannot sell or allow someone else to operate the bar for them. It has to be like a general manager. It has to be an employee relationship. You cannot have a business come in and operate a bar. That would be a violation of 20 Grand Lux's liquor license.
No, they wasn't operating, as meet and greet as a bar. They were operating as the food truck and, just doing events. I was running the bar, and I believe I had contact with you, both of you guys a couple of times. You may have came in also. It wasn't a bar, which is why we moved to the downtown location, so that we can get our own liquor license. Because, as you know, Douglas is not a very friendly neighborhood. We've had multiple situations over there where I was very cooperative with police, trying to get help. It wasn't that. This is why we moved to a new location, a safer location. Then Douglas Avenue.
Any other questions? Okay.
Yes, thank you. I'm still a little bit not clear on the name issue and these other issues. I understand, appreciate what you said about the felony conviction, but with all the other concerns here that were not disclosed, I'm seeing so many different things that kind of don't add up. While I do respect wholeheartedly your business concept, and I feel that every business person should have an opportunity to utilize their entrepreneurial spirit. But I'm having serious problems with all of the inconsistencies here.
Yes, can I address that, because like, they are all allegations.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, not to interrupt you, but you're saying a police report, the background is
Oh, no,
allegations?
no,
That's
I
right.
thought you were
I'm
talking
totally
about that, I didn't know what you said over here.
No, I'm talking about
Oh, yeah.
that report. And again, you don't have to go into details, but
Yeah.
there's so many different pieces here that don't add up. 1 and 1 is not equaling 2, is what I'm saying. And I'm not talking about any allegations or anything, any social media or any of that kind.
Can I ask,
I would prefer that she did because she's the agent.
right.
Or would be the agent, which is another issue. And I don't have to refer to the attorney here, but I understand your address is 256, is in Milwaukee? Okay. When it comes to this particular license, I thought they had to live in the area.
They have to live in the state of Wisconsin.
Oh,
They-
okay,
That's, living in Milwaukee and operating a business in Racine is not uncommon.
okay. But for the other question, like I said, please clarify it for me.
What I was about to say is she doesn't understand specifically what you're saying.
Okay. Okay, there's like several different items,
Convictions, you mean?
convictions.
Oh, my
Right.
gosh.
And yes, and you stated that when the clerk asked you, you mentioned one item because that's all, you understood that that's all you said. I'm having a problem understanding
Yeah, when I filled out the application, she told me like, hey, you forgot to fill out, have you ever been convicted of a felony? And I'm telling her, yeah, I've been convicted of the battery to the inmate. And I wrote that down. You know, like we was going over the paperwork and I was just filling it out fast. And she like, you know, you gotta make sure you list it. So, and that's what I did at that time.
But, okay, when I want to make sure you understood that you were supposed to answer, yes to all of the questions, instead of just choosing one.
So, on the, I see that's on, I don't even, in the application, it say I answer no. On the
Please
application.
go over that.
Yeah, I can go over the application. So on page 39 of the packet, which is the second page of the alcohol beverage individual questionnaire filled out by Ms. Crocker, Part D, the question is, have you ever been convicted of any offenses, excluding traffic offenses unless related to alcohol beverages, for violation of any federal, Wisconsin, or another state's laws, or of any county or municipal ordinance? So that would be something even as small as a littering citation would need to be reported. Ms. Crocker put check yes, filled out for battery to inmates, Wisconsin 2016, indicated the sentence was completed. After completing the background check, we found more criminal offenses that would have had to be disclosed on this form.
And so my understanding, I thought it was just a felony that I've been convicted of. I didn't, must have misread the question wrong. I thought it was actually, have I been convicted of it, felony? And I said yes, I didn't, you know what I mean? And that was the only one I ever been convicted of, so I put it on there. I didn't know.
Well, I will clarify that part of what the attorney read earlier. We have to determine as a committee, if that meets the guidelines that we're consistent with in the state laws. So we need to be clear on that. We need, substantiation for our decision, if that makes sense. We need to know where you're coming from, and what went down, let me put it that way.
Any other questions, comments from the committee members? If not, can we have a motion?
I would recommend denial of this application.
Second. We have a motion, a second, to deny the application for Class C beer and wine license. Is there any discussion on that motion? Committee. Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to deny, indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. As I stated earlier to the gentleman that was here before you, this is a recommendation from the committee. This will go before the county council meeting on Monday night at 6 o'clock. If the speaker invited, you can come there and sign up to speak. And it's the full council that makes the determination. We just are recommending to the council.
Does this include the dance studio and everything like?
No, there are several other, applications that you have that, from what I understand, you have, something from the building department yet. You have not received approval from the building department yet, or,
They do have an occupancy permit.
Oh, they do?
Along with this application, they have the dance hall license and the jukebox license, is I believe what they are asking for.
Oh, okay. So what does that mean for those two?
So it would be up to the committee, if they're asking for that to be, heard separately from the liquor license, it would be up to the committee to determine, whether they would like to grant or deny that as well.
So does that have to be an agenda item, or can we act on that without?
That get lumped in with the beer license?
Yeah.
They typically have, because the standards are, largely the same, and most applicants, as part of the big packet, is part of their packet as well.
Typically, what's in the requirement, get lumped in.
Okay, so then we need, so when we denied the liquor license, did we also deny those two?
You've just denied a liquor license thus far, if that's what the committee
Okay,
has done.
that's what we, that's the motion that passes, so I believe we would need another motion on the dance hall and the, which one?
The jukebox.
The jukebox and the.
Maybe then go back and clarify that the denial was only for the beer license?
If the committee would like, you could, but I believe it was for the beer and wine license, the Class B and Class C.
Okay.
We need a separate motion regarding jukebox and the dance hall license. Correct?
Yes. And I will add that the, dance hall license also has the arrest or conviction record, requirement to it as well.
From the committee.
The jukebox one does not.
Unless I'm sorry. Alder Fraser, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm just a little bit confused. So what is the, I guess, what's the alternative? So the dance hall, and then what was the other license?
The jukebox.
Okay. So what is the, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Alder Fraser, I believe the way it stands, that they can still operate as they are, but they will just be operating without a Class B, Class C beer and wine license. We now have to act on the part of the application for the jukebox and the dance hall. It would require a separate motion to approve or to deny those 2 licenses.
Got it. And attorney, go ahead, Alder
Sorry,
Kumon.
I was just saying that would still go under the same item number, just separated, denoted in the minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Alder Fraser.
Free to
So
make a motion, it does all rest on Alder Fraser. Anyone is free to do that.
But we're still in discussion, right?
Correct.
All right. So I guess, like, I don't see the reason to deny for the dance hall and the jukebox, unless someone else has reservations. I mean, ultimately, I guess this is a question for Attorney Pomplin. If we recommend denial, because we don't deny, if we recommend denial for the dance hall and the jukebox, then what essentially can Latricia do as the agent? Like, what can meet and greets do?
They can operate as a place where people come and meet and greet each other. They could not play music for money like touch tunes or an old-fashioned jukebox, because the jukebox license is aimed at kind of regulating the putting of money into a machine. The dance hall would prohibit dancing and dancing for a fee. And let's see here. Yes, so it would be dancing and dancing for a fee would fall under the public dance hall license.
And when you say,
I'm sorry, Alder Fraser, but can you
Yeah,
please,
go ahead.
before you make a motion, repeat the part you said about the different rules for those 2 different items?
Yes, the dance hall license also has the criminal background check element to it, that has the same level of disclosure. Typically, when these all come as a packet, it's all the same one. It's all the same disclosure. The jukebox one does not. So the jukebox, you can have a criminal history we don't even ask about, but the public dance hall has that criminal history disclosure.
Are you suggesting that we separate out the 2 different applications?
I would suggest yes in this case.
oh, and then, so when you say, Attorney Pomplin, when you say prohibit dancing for a fee, is that like charging a cover fee to get into the establishment?
Yeah, so the public dance is any dance to which the public may generally gain admission with or without the payment of a fee, and it's whether or not such dance constitutes all or part of a program of entertainment. So anytime that there is, say, a designated dance floor or advertising as a dance or charging a fee to, have kind of like a club-like atmosphere where dancing is expected, things like of that nature would be regulated by the dance hall license.
Got it. Okay. I will yield for now unless anyone else has any other comments.
just want a clarification here. You said that the attorney pamphlet, that the dance hall is typically also the same criteria as the alcohol license. But is it required by state statute to be considered under the same criteria?
It is not. The dance hall license is a license that is common across the state, but it's created and enforced solely by the city of Racine. So there is no statewide dance hall license like we have for liquor or tobacco. It's something that the city of Racine saw fit all the way back in, looks like 1973 to enact, and has kept since then and is periodically updated.
So it's in our ordinance.
It is in our ordinances.
Theoretically, if they don't get that license and then they have an event but somebody's dancing, they could get in trouble for that. One moment, hold on.
If they are, allowing dancing, advocating for dancing, advertising, holding that out as the purpose of the event, then yes.
It would be discretionary, wouldn't it, on the premise to check?
Almost all, enforcement by police officers is discretionary. That's how you get, warnings for speeding violations and things like that. So,
Considering by state statute that it is not a requirement, although it's an ordinance for us, I have serious concerns about denying the dance hall license when it doesn't have to do with the alcohol license, where there's a lot of potential for issues in the future just because of things like this, and there's a lot of hearsay there. One, for calling them into this committee, whether it's same people or new people, depending on what happens next week, but that's a very real concern for me, that business would be limited in that way. But when I don't really see the merit to do that, that's just my opinion on that, for the dance hall part.
Well, a follow-up question back to the city attorney would be, there's some confusion on the part of the police department as to when they are allowed access to a licensed premise. So if a premise has a license for dance hall, does that give the police department authority to enter that?
yes, similar to liquor licenses, during reasonable hours that we've determined to be business hours, police officers would have the ability to enter the premises to conduct, investigations reasonably related to the license.
Well, like we typically do, the police often, on our report, they're often doing licensed premise checks as part of their responsibility. So the same would be held for this premise if they receive the dance hall license.
Yes, for a dance hall license, yes.
Any other questions for anyone? Have a motion?
I would make a motion to approve dance hall license.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the dance hall license. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those that approve, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, he dropped out. Oh, there he is.
So we were on, all those that approve, say aye.
Aye.
Can we say it again?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? No. Motion passes 2-1. So, did we lose Alder Fraser? I think we did.
He dropped out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so the dance hall has been recommended for approval. Now we have one more to consider, which is,
The jukebox license, and that is, that does not have the same level of inquiry. It's just making sure that the city is aware of what jukeboxes are being used and, some level of regulation to make sure they're, you're putting money in and songs are actually coming out.
so it's not just a jukebox, it's a DJ or any other kind of music?
It's just jukebox,
Just jukebox.
yes.
Alder Fraser, you're back?
Yeah, sorry about sorry. So then I do have a question for Latricia then. Do you have a jukebox?
No.
Okay.
Our TVs, $150 speaker that we have.
Were you intending on getting a jukebox?
No,
You said no?
no,
Okay.
we're charging people don't need to play music at all. If anything, it's just background noise.
Okay.
So they
Okay.
can play without a jukebox, right?
Correct, yes.
So as far as
Okay.
the jukebox license, they've applied for that, but we can just receive and file that because they don't want it, or?
If the committee found that would be appropriate and the applicant has indicated that they do not want it, that could be an option the committee takes.
So I would entertain a motion to receive and file the jukebox application.
Move to
Second.
review and file.
Second. We have a motion, a second, to receive and file the jukebox application. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed?
Quick question.
Yes.
As far as the agent goes for the, liquor license, in order to change the agent, we probably have to go through the entire process over again, or?
Well, I think the attorney's office can explain that.
So Ms. Crocker herself, would be prohibited for 1 year from reapplying. The business itself, if they had a different agent, could reapply, but you start back from zero, you have to pay the same fee. If the licenses, I don't recall if we are at quota, if there is or actually, my apologies, for the small B, there is no quota. But you would have to start all over on this.
So this will go before full council on Monday.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, does everybody need a break?
Yep.
I'm, right, that's the motion, or?
I know you've been sitting here for a long time, folks, so we're gonna take a 5-minute break. Everybody gets up to the stretch, we're gonna touch our toes.
I'm not gonna give them $5.
You want some cash?
No, I got cash, I'm not gonna put it.
Oh my God, oh my God. I've been here since 3-something. Why? I'm catching up on stuff, it's just.
Direction from the elected.
I didn't really have. Well, today I got.
Okay. Do they dance hall? I mean, the last time I was. If they have a dance hall, have they had one in the past? It might be worth letting them know and say, hey, like, what's going on here? Because if they have one before, and they just drop that off, it might be a business decision that they don't want to dance hall, to try to cut down some of the issues. Perhaps, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a small business decision, maybe some commission, reaching out and just saying, hey, you know, did you attend this? We have a process renewal, do you want one, or do you want to renew your existing one, or, you know, whatever, you want one to apply for one, or something. It's not mandatory unless they're doing dance hall activities, and then they can be cited for doing that.
All right, I'll double check it.
Okay. Thank you.
I know for licensing, they a photocopy of the photo IDs for that. Are we checking photo IDs for? Because I know the private line of form. I talked at length with Teresa Sullivan, the background checks. We got the process, we'll make it a little bit easier for her to make sure that we know who we're doing the background check. Is that something that the clerk's office can do, verify ID?
I don't see why not. I have to double check, I may be wrong, but I don't believe that it is on.
Yeah,
And I agree, because there's agent of, we take it for operators who are, serving or in the same capacity, if not less than agent of a business.
And we're already having to write down by hand all of the information anyway. I mean, even just for a typo in the driver's license ID number might cause issues.
That's a good point. Or a driver's license, but in some form of state ID,
Some form of photo identification.
Got it.
Yeah.
We have a different concept that we don't deal with, so, it's different. Mine is every single item. Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, and they always have the option to do what they did, which is to divide them out if they feel so. Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good point.
The one,
Attorneys love your subsection, don't you? No, I get it, that makes sense, though.
Back in January.
Ian, I have a question.
this is still on, just so you know.
Huh? Oh, it doesn't matter, I can't take
Oh,
it.
you're not taking it?
No, because. Absent, yeah.
Are you taking it? Oh, all right.
I'm just taking notes. Yeah.
It's within the discretion.
Okay, thank you, I'll think about that.
I'm gonna use my gavel. I'm gonna use it.
You got 4 of them too. Look at it. I'm going behind you.
Okay.
After next Monday.
Everybody all set to talk now? Our marathon meeting. Once we're all settled, Sam will let me know. Sam, we're ready to go, let's go.
Okay.
All right, so, we're about to read the next item, please.
Item 0190-26, Communication, submitting a new application for a Class A retail fermented malt beverage and intoxicating liquor license for Neighborhood Pantry, Inc., doing business as Neighborhood Pantry, located at 1511 West Sixth Street, Sarabjit Randhawa, agent, 8th District. There are two following items that are related to this as well for the exceedance of quota and geographic.
Can we take these all up at the same time? So, change the agent at, well,
If this committee so wishes, it's reasonably related to the overall thing, so
Let's do
yes,
that.
if you would like.
so, Sam, do you want to read the other two, because we're going to take them all up together?
Sure. Item 0191-26, communication for a petition to exceed geographic and quota restrictions for a Class A retail fermented malt beverage and intoxicating liquor license for Neighborhood Pantry, Inc., doing business as Neighborhood Pantry, located at 1511 West Sixth Street, Sarabjit Randhawa, agent, 8th District. And item 0192-26, communication submitting a change of agent application for a Class A retail fermented malt beverage license for Neighborhood Pantry, Inc., doing business as Neighborhood Pantry Hotel, Neighborhood Pantry, located at 1511 West Sixth Street, Sarabjit Randhawa, 8th District.
Okey-doke, Mr. Rendell. Good evening, do you want to tell us about yourself? You're going to be the new agent,
Yes, ma'am.
and then currently there is no liquor license there,
No
just
liquor.
beer and wine?
No, yes, no liquor, no wine,
No beer?
only beer.
Only beer. So what is your plan, sir?
So we just, get, like,
Oh, just throw something at me.
I caught all this before attention. If you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down, and then if you could state your full name.
Sarabjit Singh Randhawa.
Thank you.
2 out of 3, yeah. So now that you're sworn in, would you like to tell us what you'd like to do at 1511 West Sixth Street?
Yes, we've been here like 30 years, so we've been doing business in the neighborhood. And, customers ask always for the liquor, you know, why not you apply for liquor? So we can get everything on one place, on one trip. So that's what we apply for.
Okay. So you know that, we are at our limit for liquor license at this time, and also that there's concern about the geographic area because you're close to a church, you're close to a daycare. You're aware of that?
Yeah.
Are there any questions for Mr. Randhawa? Please help me pronounce it correctly.
Sarabjit S. Randhawa.
Alder Pease.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would request that the Attorney's Office read the guidelines to the applicant for consideration for geographical, exceeding geographical quota.
So there are, four qualifications that have to be met for the Common Council to exceed both geographical quota and the, numerical quota. That means that the applicant has to submit a appropriate petition with all accurate information on it. They have to provide, information that they actually own and operate the place. They have to show that the proposed establishment will have a greater economic impact upon the community than simply the addition of another tavern, liquor store, convenience store, or restaurant. And they have to show that the proposed establishment will benefit the community by substantially improving the tax base. Our ordinances define that as the establishment, or I should say, the ordinances provide examples such as the establishment will extensively rehabilitate a blighted or deteriorated building, construct a new building on vacant land, or benefit the community by conferring some other tangible and substantial improvement for the area.
So have you done any improvements to the building, or do you intend to do any improvements to the building?
Yes, I am part of the explain back.
Okay,
I am Chandra Grover.
Okay.
And I am the part of the road factory. We have this business for last 33 years. We have not done any, we are law-abiding citizen, and we have the beer liquor license, and people are asking, about the other liquor. Before that, I understand that there's a church, and there was a bar green, whatever was there. Then we checked this one there now, and they said that there's no limitation for the church or the war green or whatever, so it's already. We checked our record that we have not done any kind of, we are law-abiding citizens, this is a family-owned, his younger brother and other younger brother, the both are doing work, other brother retired. He's the one here, our nephew, he's the one who, just a family kind of, students who come from other country and working hard here, sorry, whole family and kids. And that's what people are asking us, like, we have 33 years of this business, family-owned business. We are, our whole family work together. Our father was working, he passed away. Now, we are family members. My wife, she's also a partner. And this is the first we can consider.
One of the criteria for surpassing the quota is that there is some improvement to the neighborhood. Are you intending on doing any kind of improvement to the building or to the property?
We got the building inspector, right? Building inspector, they came.
Yes, so currently we're under renovation. Next week, we're redoing all the pumps and inside, we're gonna renovate all the flooring, the interior, everything could be done.
Whatever they recommend, we will do the renovation. Whatever to be done.
Any questions, Alder Pete?
The first question is, how much additional money or revenue will be brought into the business with the addition of the wine license?
It's very difficult to predict. Right now, you can check our beer, whatever we are selling a lot of, and those people, they're asking us to get a hard liquor or whatever they want. Just a prediction, say, so many dollars or something, it's very difficult.
Okay, I can appreciate that, but going back to the rules, the conditions that we have to base our decision on, we need clarification and understanding on, okay, we're gonna, let me start with, you've done the petition to, expand. The other question is kind of what, Alder Widener has been explaining also. How is it going to improve, I want to use the word economic development, economic growth. What economic benefit will this have to the community?
While increasing the money spent, we should.
Well, but how is that, okay, when I say benefit, not to be rude, but when I say benefit to the community, how is that helping the neighborhood, the city? And if you can't tell me how much, whether or not it's, what the increase in sales is gonna be, how can you say that it will improve the tax base or help the city from that perspective or point of view?
Revenue, whenever we are buying the thing, we are selling, and city get their share, whatever, taxes, whatever. So right now, we are selling a beer. So what do you think that how much, people are asking, that how much the hard liquor or whatever, wine, is it 10%, 20%, some kind of, these are one, how much? 60%? He's selling like this, we can sell like, that is 50% on liquor, that's what he's saying, but even maybe 15% or 30% will be that right now.
Around 15.
15 to 30%, I think we can, that's what. And we have this location, same family, 33 years. We know they know the people like by name. People are coming there, every generation people are coming to the store.
Okay, after 30, I don't want to be rude, want to make sure you were finished.
Sure.
But after 30, 31 years, what makes you think that you need the additional wine license at this point?
Kind of question before that, there was we applied before. And the person that there was a JC Church was the thing, you cannot, there was some kind of limitation, which is state removed that one. That's what they found out. And then they said that the wall green, something that's over there, they said because they have there. Now wall green is closed, that's what people are telling. Church is not a big now, that's what found out. So this is the reason we are asking. 33 years we have this one, people are still asking at that time. We tried, but that was the objection at that time. So that was refused. Now we came here, we are requesting, begging from you, if the family wants, if you can help us.
So I have a question, I'm not sure if it's for the clerk's office or for the attorney's office, but this is a gas station with a convenience store. I am wondering if we have any other gas stations with a convenience store that have a full liquor license.
Not that I am aware of.
So my concern is that we are setting a precedent, that we don't usually license for alcohol. Because once you have an alcohol license, you can sell as much, you can turn that into a full liquor store without groceries, without anything else, once you have that liquor license. I'm not saying you will, but you would have that ability. We typically and traditionally have not mixed gas and liquor. And that's, I am concerned about not so much exceeding the quota, but for opening up a new avenue for other gas stations that have a convenience store coming in asking us to help them out by giving them a liquor license. And pretty soon we'll be selling liquor, not just packaged beer, in all of our gas stations.
What if we were able to build a building right next to ours? Would that be viable?
Well, we have the space there.
Space with
You do understand my concern,
No,
right?
we understand
So
that.
we are
But-
trailing
So, it's not,
leaving a brand
how
new
about,
trail.
how about the wine? And can you give us a, not hard liquor than wine? We can.
That's not what you applied for, though, sir. So-
So if that's a state law, then we'll abide with you.
In
If
option,
that's not state law, if other things they have, this is a family zone, we are just working hard and surviving.
so it depending what the sentiment of the committee is, then ultimately what the sentiment of the council, I'm just giving you my personal opinion, is that you understand the precedent we would be setting, and we would have applications from every gas station in Racine, if they just sell liquor. I think the options are, the committee could approve your request, or the committee could deny your request, or you could withdraw your application for a liquor license and reapply for a wine license perhaps.
Wine is covered under a Class A, so, what we consider a wine license is for in-person consumption only.
Okay, so they could not sell bottles of wine.
They could not sell bottles of wine without a large Class A.
Okay,
Wine considered an intoxicating liquor except for when it's served in like a sit-down restaurant.
okay.
Do you already serve beer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they sell it, not serve it, you
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
serve.
Sorry, sell
We
beer.
are selling beer.
Okay.
Last 33 years.
No, he just said they're drinking it in the.
I messed up with my verbiage and all the people corrected me.
So there isn't a separate wine license that you could apply for?
That's
Yeah.
okay, if your law, if the state law will abide for that, your law-abiding citizen, but if somebody already had a liquor license with the gas station, that's okay. Yes, I think it's.
So,
Don't places, what about places like, I'm just trying to think of, like, wide chain gas station, grocery, convenience store, whatever, like a Quick Trip, don't they sell
they sell
liquor?
liquor. We have quick trips in the city. Quick trips in the city.
So your concern is pertaining, obviously, to cities where we have jurisdiction. I'm just trying to understand it's more of a concern of opening the floodgates for the other ones that are gas stations.
And I also believe we only have one convenience store in the city of Racine, and that's on the corner of Rapids Drive and Gulf. avenue that sells liquor. Oh, there's more?
At a minimum, we have timers, sells liquor and beer.
But they're not a convenience store. Liquor's is a Timers.
Oh, yeah,
Liquor's
sorry,
is-
my
That was a
apologies.
full-fledged-
Yeah, my apologies.
Big difference.
I was thinking
Yeah.
Class A just in general.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm thinking about rapid food and liquor, what you're thinking about, right? On, rapid.
Correct.
Okay,
And,
but they don't sell gas.
no, they don't. But I was on the council
Mhm.
when the council approved that liquor license.
Mm-hmm.
And it was with a lot of trepidation that we did that. And after we approved that liquor license, then many other convenience stores said, well, so-and-so's got a liquor license, we want one too. And for much the same reason that these gentlemen are asking for a liquor license, it was because people in the neighborhood were requesting to have that. So I'm not saying I'm for or against, I'm just saying that we're gonna start a whole new precedent here. But this is, in my view, a gas station with attached, even though, more of your sales are in food than in gas. It's still, to me, a gas station with a convenience store. So, any questions, thoughts, comments from any of the committee members other than?
I don't have any comments. I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay. Was there anyone here that wanted to speak on this item?
If I'm not mistaken, all three folks who signed up to speak are standing at the podium right now.
Okay, thank you. Ready for your motion, Alder Frazier?
I'd move to deny.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Discussion on that motion. I would like to say, in discussing this, there is another option. If the applicant could withdraw his application before this committee acts on that motion, then there's gonna be a new council and a new Public Safety and Licensing Committee next month, likely. They withdrew their applications, they would have the opportunity to reapply. Let me double check.
Typically, there is almost always the ability to reapply, it just depends on if they have to wait a certain amount of time, so I wanna double check on that.
So the reason, just so you understand why I'm bringing this up, is this is the last meeting of this particular council, this committee. It may be all different at our next one because there was an election, there's new aldermen, there'll be new committee appointments. So there may be, another alderman that is sitting in this seat that doesn't have as strong feelings as I do about setting the precedent with gas stations and convenience stores. So that's why I want you to understand, if, rather than acting on the motion that Alder Frazier made, if you have the opportunity to withdraw your application and reapply, when and if there is a new committee, that might be an option for you.
So the ordinance that we have is ordinance 6-35, governs withdrawal of applications. Anytime prior to the meeting of public safety and licensing is when they can be withdrawn. However, that ordinance deals largely with refunding of fees. So there is no time period in which that they have to wait to reapply. They would have to pay the reapplication fee again because they've made it this far.
And if we deny the license, how long would they have to wait to reapply?
There is, I do not see, except for lying on the application, I do not see a period of time in which that there is a required that's required for them not to reapply. So they could reapply, they would have to pay, they have to go through all the same forms, pay the same money, as well.
So there is no impact on them rather than except for this committee recommending a denial, and that going to the council. Alderman Peak?
Yes, I know, clarify it for me here. Every agenda item tonight could have used the same logic. I'm missing something. The last people here, we could have said, we'll pull your application and wait until a new, committee comes in. I'm missing something.
Well, I think this one is different, though. We denied the previous application based on criteria that was in her application.
Mm-hmm.
This is totally different from that. There's nothing in his.
No, I get that part.
I would think what Alder Pete was, kind of piggybacking off of that, though, is that the criteria of the previous one can be provided an exception if that committee so wishes, with any omission, anything like that. So that could be different if it were heard in a month, too. So I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that I think if it's on our agenda, we need to take care of it.
Okay.
And especially if there's no time, there's no barring them for a certain amount of time. If they so wish to come back before potentially a new public safety licensing, then so be it.
Okay.
That's my opinion on it. Taking on to the motion on the board.
Okay. Last question for the city attorney. Which license is it that once denied, you cannot reapply for a year?
So it's any license if you lie on the application. So I believe the idea behind it is we don't want people to omit things from an application, get a denial, and just file a new application providing that information.
Thank you. All right, so we have a motion and a second to deny the license.
I know, I just want clarification, because I know we're kind of taking it one by one, or is it all, like, the voting to deny all three?
So I think we're gonna have to do three different motions.
Okay.
Okay, so the first motion is on the, application for the Class A license. Any discussion on the denial of the Class A license? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. So the next motion would be in relation to,
Item 0191-26, the communication to, for the new petition to exceed the geographical and the quarter restriction for that license.
we have a motion on that item.
Move to deny.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to deny the request to exceed the geographical and quota restriction. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. And on the final item, which is the change of agent. Do we have a motion on the change of agent? Approved.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the change of agent for the Neighborhood Pantry Hotel?
It says hotel, yeah.
For the Neighborhood Pantry. We have a motion and second. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Just for, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, just for anyone that's listening or people that may go back, could the attorney clarify for the one, the change of agent, just what that actually means?
Yes, so the change of agent, every business that has a liquor license, whether that's a big A, big B, small b, or C, they have to designate an agent who is in charge of the place. It doesn't have to be the owner, but it has to be someone who is in charge of the day-to-day operation, and they are the one who is, in charge of the place. And if you want to change who is in charge of the place, you have to change your agent, and they have to be of good moral character, they have to pass a background check, and they have to pass approval of this committee.
Thank you.
The recommendation of this committee is that your application be denied. That will go to council on Monday at 6 o'clock for action by the common council. So what we did here is just a recommendation to the whole council. So you want, yeah, so if you wanted to reapply at a future date, you could certainly do that.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you for 001-26 on the first
Thank you.
page. I'll pick that up.
Item 0001-26, communication on behalf of the, submitting a new application for a massage establishment license, Serenity and Peace LLC, doing business as Lotus Spa, located at 1118 Grove Avenue, Anthony Buchanan Senior, owner, 13th District.
Okay, well, this item had been deferred from, January 14th, 2026. Is Mr. Buchanan here?
He's invisible.
He's not here. I just want to give a chance in case he's on the hallway. Okay, do we have any discussion on this item?
Yes.
Over Kelly.
Since it's my district, so I believe the last time he was here, maybe you can help me with the timeline. There was a bunch of items that had failed inspections. Could you bring us back up to?
Yeah, he had applied for an occupancy license. He had not completed, I believe, most of the inspections for that. I believe he wasn't willing to do that until the approval of the license is kind of the discussion that was had. Once he would have to be approved, he was kind of wishing to move forward with that. And since then, if I'm not mistaken, it has not been completed.
I've here for Dan Kirchenberg, the chief building inspector, that 1118 Grove applied for occupancy, was failed by the inspector. They did a complete build-out of the space, but pulled no permits for their work. They still have yet to bring their work into compliance with the city code and properly apply for permits. So they do not have an occupancy permit. They are not permitted to be occupied until they remedy those violations.
Okay. Anybody else? I'm gonna make a motion to deny, please.
Second.
Second with unanimous.
Do we have to even vote if we have that in a second? So we have a motion and second to deny the license for the massage establishment. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, Sam, sitting there.
Item 0193-26, communication for the licenses premise report.
Oh, it's a big one.
Yeah. So we had approximately 49 calls in the last month related to taverns. A couple of the ones that stand out, the report, we had one we did just a random tavern check at RV nightclub. We went in there, looks like they were just opening, but all of their signage was not displayed. So we haven't done one in a while. We went in there, we talked to the bartender that was there, and he advised he was kind of there because his mom wasn't there, so the owner wasn't there. We also checked for the bartender license, and they didn't have one, so they were shut down for the night. It is on my list to do a follow-up to make sure that I don't know if it was being renovated or the view was in reference to signage, so we'll be doing a follow-up in reference to R&B nightclub. Taste of Soul had a pretty decent fight on the March 15th, which resulted in 5 assault reports that we took in reference to that. Once we got there, nobody stayed, so everybody kind of just left, but the assault reports have been called in days after. A little bit down to March 28th, Uptown Pub and Grill, they had a total of 8 calls for service for this time period. In 2 different occasions they couldn't provide a bartender license. And then we also had one where it took about 33 minutes for RAPD with approximately 10 squads, assistance of Racine County Sheriff's Office, to clear the crowd that was formed there in reference to a call for there for a noise complaint. And on that April 6th, I believe it was the same night, sorry, not the same night, the next day, April 6th, there was a shots fired call where a victim ended up showing up at the hospital. As officers got there, multiple people on the road, people leaving, and it was captured on body camera and dash cam with individuals with firearms. We also have an investigation ongoing, so I can't really speak any further. That's Uptown. Honors had a couple incidents, had a pretty decent fight involving a bartender Also,
Is that a male or female sergeant, do you know?
for honors, I believe it was a female. Also at honors, there was a complaint in reference to a 17-year-old who was assaulted. It was a juvenile. After speaking to her, she advised that she was at, honors. She was inside the bar. She was consuming alcohol. And we went in there to try and figure out what was the reason for the juvenile being there. Bartender advised she had been carded on a different occasion, and that's the reason why she wasn't carded at that time. So, like I said, with her being a juvenile, with the individual being a juvenile, we went in there and did that. So, our concerns for the report, it would be honors, Uptown, and then the follow-up with the RV nightclub.
So do you wanna do a follow-up with RVs?
The RV, I believe, would be more of a follow-up for maybe the next report in reference to the signage and what they have going on. With the officers at Uptown, they range from noise complaints to parking violations to people fighting, and obviously, the shots fired at that last April.
So any questions regarding the licensed premise report from our committee members? If none, I would entertain a motion to approve the report.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the report. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I think we're at the final item, right?
Item 0194-26, communication requesting any consideration, any formal expression of concern, or other actions pursuant to the police report.
Any discussion or actions, we want to take on that licensed premise report?
Uptown.
Go ahead. And,
I would like to. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I didn't know we're blurred, but.
well,
Sorry.
we can blurt, I know we're all excited, not to come to the end of our.
and honors.
So we have a motion and a second to call in honors and Uptown.
Yes.
Any others? Not okay. Any discussion on the motion to call in honors and Uptown? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed? Motion passes. I want to thank the staff for your patience tonight. Thank you, Attorney's Office, Sergeant Cruz, and our lovely folks from the Clerk's Office. We'll be lost without you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your patience tonight, everyone. And this is our final PSL meeting. Does anybody want to make any kind of comments regarding our final?
I thought overall that we did a great job. I think we were consistent. I think we had good, leadership from our chair or committee person. And I think we all did a great job. I think we, did a good job in terms of the name of the committee, public safety. I think we all took that into consideration. And that was the most important. I think we all realized that that was the reason we were here, public safety.
Second.
I think it's been great, especially coming in as a newer alder, not knowing, how things are gonna shape out in the next week or so, but, also to all the staff.
Well, thank you, guys. You can have all the overtime pay you want.
You're definitely the strong foundation by which we are able to do that, and you sit with us through it all, and you're able to provide us with the resources. So thank you all for the past year, just really being a part of how we are able to conduct business on behalf of our constituents in the city.
I have one question, unless I'm jumping ahead of somebody. I have to realize, that we have a totally new staff down there. Did the old staff get mad at us? Ann's replacement left the whole city.
They wanted to be here.
Yeah.
They signed up for this, yeah.
Couldn't resist, but we started out with a whole new.
Right? You signed up for this.
I signed up for this.
We fought our way here.
You did?
Yeah.
The rest of the staff is at home watching us,
Yeah.
just gonna let you know.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. You all did a great job.
So Alder Fraser, did you want to say anything?
I would say kudos to you, Alder Widener. I think Alder Pabon hit the nail on the head. You have done an exceptional job at being level-headed and teaching, me and him, because we're the newer ones, along the way. And then obviously our staff. You guys are awesome. Sam, for all my text messages and phone calls, and Sergeant Cruz for just dealing with another cop. I know it's difficult. And Ian, you just break the law down so easily. It's easy for me to understand. So I really, really. And then who am I missing? Because there's somebody else down there, and I can't see.
It's right there.
Noemi.
Yes. And Noemi getting on me because, I don't really respond to emails like that. So, yeah, man, I really appreciate you all. And, again, kudos to you, Alder Widener. Seriously, you exceptional job, and I don't envy your position.
Alder Kelly, did you have anything?
No, I enjoyed this round on PSL, so it was a nice mix-up. And I enjoy being in this room rather than the other one, so. I think this group here, we've been able to deal with things pretty smoothly, so. Yeah, I appreciate all of the camaraderie, so, thank you.
Well, for someone that did not want to chair or be vice chair, I have totally enjoyed being chair. And I want to thank you all for your patience with me. I know I kept forgetting that people have to get sworn in.
That's all right, we got them all sworn in eventually.
Yeah, and after a year, 2 out of 3 is not bad for tonight. Yeah, so I've enjoyed it. And I'm just grateful that we have given everyone an opportunity to speak, and that's really what should happen in this committee. This committee is very, very unique, unlike Public Works or unlike the Finance Committee. And every item that comes before us is unique, and we're dealing with people. And I think we've all done a tremendous job treating everyone with the courtesy and the respect that they deserve. And I think and thanks to the staff.
Everyone have a great evening.
We adjourn, yeah.
Oh, did she adjourn yet? I don't know.